But now, often as you can, think of where you are. And when. Think of who you are.
7:16 p.m.?
Hello. You know, there are events that, although they are not so far away from us in time, nevertheless seem to us to be in the distant past. Even to me sometimes feels like that. Today's video is about one of these events, but allow me to say a few words first. You who seek true information must have a complete and irrevocable break with everything which beclouds the past lies in a true and courageous comprehension of its full consequences. You must have that in mind, because it will change many things in your life. And sometimes even good changes can end up in bad ways because of your future actions and words. If you think you're ready for the truth, to hear the truth, to know the truth, to live the truth, you have to be ready for the consequences. Depending what you do with that truth, consequences will follow. So be careful. I hope my work on here for over a decade now have helped you to know some of the many people involved in this tragic war, as they are real people, and the ones who, by themselves or by the will of circumstances, have been put to severe physical and moral tests under very special and extreme conditions, and still do. I hope you understand that my occasional bitterness had nothing in common with my occasional feelings of helplessness. On the contrary, by telling you and showing you the difficult truth, the burden of things previously unsaid, but things that needed to be said. It strengthened my feelings of victory. Today, you will know about a grim story. Yet another example of the fact that with me, there are no areas or facts of reality that can be excluded or that are beyond truthful portrayal. No matter who is involved, as you know, I've defended Tsarism, the rule of the Tsars. Yet I have spoken about the occasional barbarities of Tsarism, the occasional barbarities of the Tsars, which did happen occasionally. But in most societies, past and present, the same barbarities were and still are common. Bertolt Brecht once wrote that a country which needs heroes is a unfortunate country. Unfortunate country. I say even more unfortunate is a country that needs heroes and has none. This is a misfortune that Russia, due to the Carishes and the Carishes hybrids, has avoided for over 1,000 years. Our heroes did not choose their country leaders, nor did they follow a temporary political or social ideology. They were heroes because they were alive at a certain point and time, place. They were alive, defending a piece of land chosen by the Caristos, not chosen by a Tsar, not chosen by a political ideologist or ideology, not chosen by anyone or anything but the Caristos. We could have chosen another place, but for reasons of our own, we chose the land these days you call Russia. They were heroes not because they followed someone, but because they fought and died defending, among other things, the Caristos' chosen land, the motherland, their motherland. They, our past heroes, did not choose to be part of the Tsar's cavalry 300 years ago, or to be part of the KGB 50 years ago. But they served the cause on both and more, and many more, places and institutions, under the rule, not always, of people they chose, but they, nevertheless, they served the cause in any circumstance, any under ruler. They chose to serve the cause, the Caristos, and to defend the chosen land, not the rulers of that land. Not the rulers of that land, not the situation of that land at a certain point in time, but always, always. No matter if the rulers were close to the Caristos or not, we all play a part. We all must play a part, our part. Let's say a part on a play, a theater play, either we like it or not. Sometimes it feels like that. If eventually, and it has happened, someone does not like his or her part, if someone wants a different part, maybe a part with more relevance on stage, they can always leave. The problem is, and neither side likes a traitor, a coward, or a defector. So most of the time, the ambitious ones end up alone, all alone in this world, alone, sitting on a couch watching TV. Here's the problem. When you serve one of the sides and then end up alone, you also end up without protection. You are on your own. We, the few Caristos, serving on earth as humans among humans, do not like to spend much energy in intellectual discussions with pseudo-intellectuals or anyone else for that matter. And this because the very important war of the minds is for others to fight. And so we most of the times, not always, only listen to those discussions like half-heartedly. We prefer to fight and leave the intellectual thinking to the ones who can do it properly in the correct settings. The correct settings. Many of them die rich, but rarely as heroes. We say that a blade is much more useful to us than to discuss Eisenstein, for example. What enemy can we call with talk of fine art? Kill them of boredom? To me, talking is mainly a tool of survival. When you are under enemy interrogation, then talk to get out of there, to try to distract them or to tell them lies. It's a tool of survival. The rest of the time, most of the time, I prefer to listen, but to listen carefully. Listening carefully is called learning, at least to me. When we were young kid in school, you could not interrupt your teacher all the time or spend all the time chit-chatting with your fellow students. You have to be quiet and listen. You should use the same behavior as an adult. Why change? To appear smart and knowledgeable? Remember, the nerdy, quiet kids in your school are the ones who did good in life, or at least stayed out of jail as adults and stayed alive. You have to be careful when you know certain truths, mainly our truth. You have to be extra careful when you serve the cause. Every word you say in public, especially in public, as an adult, is a piece of evidence for others to accuse you, prosecute you, judge you, sentence you, and even execute you. If not always literally, at least socially, always socially, if they don't like what you're saying. If you are serving the cause and for some reason you are executed socially, we will let you go. If you are executed socially, we will let you go if you're serving the cause. Why? Because you have become a liability to the cause. What am I talking about exactly? Maybe you're thinking, what is this guy talking about exactly? I'll tell you an example. Imagine you are either already serving a cause or you have the potential to do so. Let's say you have been in contact with me or with someone else within the cause for a while and you are being considered to join us. But one day, for some reason, you get arrested. Or, for example, you are sent to the psychic ward of an hospital. The reason is not of importance to us. Maybe you do too many drugs and from time to time you go a bit crazy around the neighborhood, or maybe you cannot handle your booze very well and you became known by the local cops. Most of them are Freemasons, by the way, at least the ones with the power of decision. Either way, you become a liability to us, to the cause. Small or big, does not matter, you have become a liability. Once you are a liability, small or big, goodbye. Remember this, some of us have been tortured and even crucified, and we weren't even a liability. We were not even a liability. We did nothing wrong, we were just trying to help others. Yet that was enough. Helping others at the wrong time and place was enough. Now imagine you acting crazy, not helping, just acting crazy, talking loud, being a liability. Think, the crucified ones weren't doing anything wrong. They were helping the cause, yet we were let go. We had become liabilities. This war is cruel. We're friends, but we're not here to make friends or live this beautiful friendship club. The cause is above all that. You, if that's the case, being a loud troublemaker, become a liability to the cause. What do you think is going to happen? We will not execute you, but we will surely let you go. No? Tanks are louder than snipers, eh? In a war, a tank is much louder than a sniper. Then that's why tanks get more attention than snipers. And they're easier to get rid of. Who do you think in a war has a longer lifespan? It's the sniper, not the tank. If you wish to serve the cause, you don't have to be either a troublemaker or a trouble taker. Just don't get in trouble altogether. Unless that's your job within the cause. To get in trouble, to make trouble. But that would be told and explained to you. That would be a mission. If your mission, your job within the cause is not to cause trouble, to be trouble, then don't. Or if you're even wanting to serve the cause, don't get in trouble before at least you're accepted into the cause. I get in trouble. I do all the time. But that's because the other side already knows me very well and for a long time. Knows me at a global level, not at a town level. So I cannot even stay out of trouble if I want. I am trouble. I am their trouble. You can stay out of trouble if you wish to serve the cause. In our world, the world of doers, not talkers, when in between a rock and a hard place, a small blade acquired by hook or crook is the only diploma of higher education that counts. I have witnessed the anguished screams of thousands of dying people, the groans of the wounded, the deaths of the starving. None died nor suffered because of calmly and quietly discussing art or other intellectual challenging issues. They died for and by the blade because they became I don't want to talk about this. This is for another time. Yes, maybe in a few months. The information we have been giving you for a decade has been chosen and released with extreme care because we do not have the right to endanger our future books, our future people, and our future heroes. Yet, we still share a lot of information. In turn, the Vlash and Metrin are 1,000 times more secretive than us, because they know that if they weren't a lot more secretive than us, we would beat them at their own game. It's a game of silence and liability. So they say very little. They show a lot, more than us, but they say very little. I've many times been criticized by my own people because I have accused our side of being insufficiently intolerant of the Vlashmet and their earthly regimes. Our side has been insufficiently intolerant. Just listen, for example, to Daniel for the past 20 years. Every time he mentions the USA, the UK, and the EU, he calls them our partners. They're not my partners, for sure, but he calls them our partners. I've complained about that, but even though I've not been heard, meaning taken seriously enough by our side, considering this aspect, they still see me as a sort of political prophet. But I don't care about me or how they see me. In my opinion, this fake, humble attitude is not enough nor good for the cause. But I don't decide our practical ideology. I just follow up. I do. I keep repeating the same words to the ones above me. Doesn't matter how they see me or what they say about me. That's none of my business. My immortality and my doings will always be known. Always be known. And afterwards, after this war is over here, all I want is to be forgotten forever. So consider what I'm telling you today. I forward, not yet my afterward, not even. However, to be true to you, I already feel like Burt Lancaster in his 1968 movie The Swimmer. Check it out. I've watched it a couple of times. I know my life and my lives are open daily for inspection. But at the same time, the lives of all humans and hybrids and all their activities are also open for inspection. I am not alone, neither are you. By inspecting my lives, and these videos help you do just that, you are inspecting your own, measuring, comparing, judging your own life to mine. Till recently, you didn't know I existed. Until recently, you didn't know we existed. Until recently, you didn't know you existed. Until one day, recently, you did. To some of you, only a few, this marked the end of your innocence, the end of the simple what, where, and when, and the beginning of the why, the beginning of the inspection of consciousness. Now, with our information, out of little details, we reveal it all. The big events, the small events, the ones you need to know as necessary to you, not to us. We already know them. The more specific the description of little details, the closer we get to the structure and quality of the consciousness of the protagonists, you, me, and all others. When you're receiving our information, the way we share our information, and if you are really trying to receive and understand our information, what you start going through, consciously or subconsciously, is a transcendental experience, because you slowly adopt someone else's way of seeing things all around you, meaning the way we encourage to see things, we see everything that starts happening to you. But even as you start seeing things the way we do, you will never stop nor leave your own personal consciousness, not completely. This tension, this spiritual tension between the two of us, you and us, creates the beginning of that self-inspection, the beginning of your self-inspection of consciousness. And then by doing so, we benefit from it. We benefit through you. The more you inspect your consciousness, the more you know your flaws or are aware of them, the more we benefit from it in a positive way. But then again, that's another story for another time. Maybe 2 years from now. We're far away from that. I'm just giving you some ideas, some things for you to think about. Like I say, we have only shared 0.01%. Been here for 10 years, we haven't even started. Just warming up. The ones who are here as simple spectators, but not truly trying to receive nor understand our information. If you're one of those, you will not experience the way we see things. You'll become like a minor passage on the book of your life if you're not here to truly receive or understand our information. If you're just a spectator, and that's fine. But that's what will happen. These people, spectators, they will not become much more than a breath cutter in the concentration camp of the mind. The Caristus live constantly terrified and tortured by our constant pain. And these things we do not share with you. Most of you would freeze in fear if you were to feel these things, these feelings. But we do. The ones who live as humans among humans. We too, play with the cards, the information you are dealt. No, our cards are good. But you, just like us, need to play them in order to learn, in order to help the cause. If you do not, you'll be alone and lonely. This, if you are here for the cause, of course. If not, it doesn't matter. If you don't try to understand our information and do the work after that, you'll always be a breath cutter in the concentration camp of the mind. Yes, learn nothing. Learning nothing, helping nothing, at least not the cause. Maybe you'll just help yourself, which is the contrary of the cause, to help oneself, and that's it. But if you even try, but do not play the right cards, one of the cards is loyalty, forever loyalty. It's a big one. Then you'll end up in a spiritual solitary confinement of the soul. My advice to you is live now or stay forever. Nobody will knock on your door over your decision. Well, maybe we will, but only to 3 or 4 people. We care about the information we share with you. It's just more than a diary. It's like a non-literary artifact for your mind's eye, your soul. I share this to you every time with pride and gratitude. I'm grateful that I'm able to do it. Gratitude because we are different from you, because of the nature of our information, and yet you listen. And that's all I ask of you, to listen. You can decide what to do with our information. Little, nothing, or all, or nothing at all. But I share our information with you, knowing that most people will not accept it. But we, ourselves, we are not here for most people. We are here for a few people. This detachment of mind is very valuable for both me and you. I remain the same man, and you'll remain the same person, with the obvious spiritual differences, like faith, which I have more, always will have. Some of you, and I know you do, some may think that I embellish our stories and our history, but I do not. And I don't amp up the terror and intensity of the situations. If I did that, it would take away its powerful truth. If I changed it, if I made it bigger, it would take away the power of the truth. No, even if complex in nature and structure, at least was these stories, which compose our, which is yours, history, are simple and for the most part universal. It is the story of one war. Many battles, but one war. One war mainly consisting of 5 races, the Kursk, Karish, Anunnaki, Vlach, and Metri, consisting mainly of 2 beings, one called the goddess, the other Lucifer, and of 4 brothers, who circumstantially became the main known protagonists. But as you know, there are many more involved. Yeah, many more. The 4 brothers live all these stories, and I've only told few, and one way or another have experienced each and every grueling second of it. Some brothers more than others. Have you ever thought, what would I do if I was in their shoes? Have you ever thought that? In truthfulness to yourself, not trying to be a hero. Thought about what would I do if I was in their shoes. Try. I myself often I think, what would I do if I was in your shoes? What would I do with the information the Caricius gave me? The more information we give you, the more you are drawn to it. Why? Because even though we, the Caricius, are involved, this story is mainly about you, not us. We are involved because of you. Sometimes, because I have been here with you for so long, I also think, am I myself anymore? Am I myself anymore? As a distinct individual without much to do with you? Or should I see myself as essentially similar to you? I cannot be both. Or maybe I can. Sometimes I think beyond that. Sometimes I find myself thinking, am I just like the Vlach and the Met? But I just happen to have landed in a different set of circumstances in our respective lives. I don't know. It does not matter to me. I still think about it. I am who I am, and I am where I am for a reason, and that reason is not for me at this time to know or understand. I serve the cause, I serve the goddess, and that is all I need to know. I'm not ready to know the rest, I think, because if I was, I would know. But there's one thing I do know, is that this life is about being tested. Tested. I also know that the ultimate test is one in which a human life is at stake. You have the courage to kill someone in order for you to survive? Or would you have the courage to let others kill you in order for someone else to survive? Your decision is not enough for me to decide or judge. I am the executioner, not the prosecutor and not the judge. These stories, these recent stories, and today you will know one, just one, are not something that happened in the past and are now thankfully over. These are stories of recent history. Exact thing, and that is that in mind. Throughout these years, I've given you the details and the atmosphere of this overwhelming point in time and space. You know, every night before I fall asleep, and every morning when I wake up, I always think the same exact thing, and that is I can't go on, but I must go on, because one single second of freedom is worth more than a lifetime of bondage. Enjoy. Cheers.